fourth speaker is Dr. Megan Lowe. Megan received her PhD in pharmaceutical sciences and pharmacogenomics this summer, so we will now call her officially Dr. Megan Lowe. She's currently doing her postdoctoral work. Her advisors were Drs. Natalia Jura and Ophir Klein at UCSF, and her talk is titled Video Game Development. Megan.
Thank you very much, Dean Watkins. So modern technology has enabled us to create some pretty amazing inventions. Just take video games, for example. You have a controller that can turn mechanical signals into electricity, which is used to communicate with a computer that then converts these signals into a whole range of colorful graphics. Just like video game systems, our bodies rely on a network of communications to function properly. We have controllers which convert physical and chemical stimuli into forms of communication that the cells within our body can then read in order to elicit a response. This communication network is especially important during pregnancy and human development to make certain that we don't end up with 3 eyes and 6 fingers somehow. We call the way that cells talk with one another and their environment signaling networks. And one of the most important signaling networks during development is the sonic hedgehog pathway. Yes, the blue thing you're thinking of right now. During development, the hedgehog pathway acts sort of like an antenna, sending waves of signal out from a central point. The signal is really strong in places near the center, but much weaker in places further away from it. It's because of this that we have a short pinky finger and a much longer middle finger. The strength and location of the hedgehog pathway also varies based on time. Taken all together, these factors make studying the hedgehog pathway really difficult. And while we know a lot about why the hedgehog pathway is important, we still don't know very much about how it's controlled. And it's becoming increasingly clear from research on development and childhood cancers that understanding how the hedgehog pathway is regulated is just as important as knowing what it does. Recently, I discovered that a small protein named Canopy4 is able to fine-tune the strength of the hedgehog pathway, sort of like how the knob on your radio is used to make the music louder or softer. In mice embryos where Canopy4 is gone, hedgehog signaling levels are literally off the charts. And as a result, these embryos develop fused rib cages, curved spines, and paws that have anywhere between 2 to 7 digits. I've been able to trace the source of Canopy4's effect to a small lipid molecule called cholesterol, whose role in hedgehog signaling is only beginning to be fully understood. By studying the way Canopy4 affects cholesterol and thereby hedgehog signaling, I believe that we can gain more insight into how childhood birth defects occur and how certain cancers are able to hijack our cells at such a young age. Next slide. And with that, we can make certain that life develops just as it always has and should. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lowe. It's really exciting to hear about your work. You've clearly made an original contribution to knowledge, and it's just, we're so glad that to hear about it. And I want to congratulate you on graduating.
Thank you very much.
I think we're all interested in knowing what are the next steps in your career?
So I am currently wrapping up some of my research projects still at UCSF, doing an interim postdoctoral fellowship in my graduate labs. And then after that, I will be starting my more formal postdoctoral training in a lab at the University of Tokyo in next February.
That's really exciting. So you'll be moving to Japan. Tell us how you made that decision.
So my family is originally from Japan, and so I've always had an interest in living abroad, partly, but also for a very kind of for like a scientific reason. As I've always heard that the way that people think, conduct, and do research is very different geographically, and I have only done my scientific training up until now in California, and so I really wanted to go somewhere very different to gain more insight and practice and the other ways that people think about science.
That is really exciting, but you have to promise that you're going to come back to UCSF for our alumni weekend at some point.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.